Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about deliver us from evil. That's what I want to talk about. I was like, wait, all this stuff was coming into my mind for us, and I was like, what is the theme of this? What is the theme? And it was that. And so look, my name's Dr. Cheryl Meyer. I'm a psychologist in my day job, but I take out this time to equip you guys. I want you to be equipped with everything you need to get through this world and to get on to the next, One time, these kids were talking to me and they were like, oh, you only believe that stuff because you want to go to heaven. And I just sat and I was like, oh yeah, I get to go to heaven. It wasn't even on my mind, because one of the things of this, right? And so I don't want to be religious to be religious. I want you guys to know the truth. The truth will set you free, as you are a soul and you're in a body. And if we don't know that, we're going to be living upside down. We're going to be living for the wrong purposes, for the complete opposite of why we're here. If I think I'm here for my stomach, to feed my stomach and to feed my appetites, to feed this part of me that just wants to put a lot of money in my bank and have a hot guy next to me, or whatever people will say, that's just a stereotype. But, or to look good on my social media and blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with dressing for success. There's nothing wrong with being excellent at what you do. Okay. So I'm meant to be excellent at being a psychologist. Otherwise my patients, my clients will suffer. You know what I mean? So I studied hard and I got my doctorate, and I've been practicing for 20 years. And I want to do this with the most excellence I can to serve you. I do it to serve you guys. Now, of course, I have days where I'm just like, what am I doing this for? Because sometimes my videos go to like 20 people, but those 20 people get impacted, even if they just watched a minute, even if they watched more, whatever, that I don't have to control everything, right? So deliver us from evil. Now, it's easy to see the evil in other people and to look around and see it in the world. One thing I want to say about good, okay, is I was just reflecting. I was just crying in my car before this, but then I put some makeup on. I'm going through something really difficult right now. Again, But I was thinking of this one doctor I know that has been persecuted and put down and made fun of. Now, I'm a doctor in psychology. This is a medical doctor that I know of. And so many people have made fun of this person. And yet, I'll just say it's a he. He persevered and stood up and took all of these punches and waves, if you want to call them waves, of this world. I love how Eckhart Tolle says, in The Power of Now, the egotism running all of our lives in the collective is insane. And just because everybody's doing it doesn't make it less insane. People have killed like 100 million people in the last, I don't know how many years, from egotism dominating in their lives. And so if we take what he's talking about, and we take what Gandhi says, Gandhi says, you must be the change you wish to see in this world. All right. And so if you want to see more, this is what I was thinking of that doctor. I'm like, he's an agent for good. Like, I was just in a black hole looking at my outer circumstances about something, someone I care about so deeply. And it's just like, and then here, this agent for good that has taken it from this world just showed up in our lives and is like a light, It reminds me of Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, He's quoting, Willy Wonka's quoting, he's always quoting like someone profound because it's Roald Dahl, and he was a poet, but he says, so shines a bright light in a dark world. thought I could put my makeup on and that would make me just not cry, but you have no idea what an impact you have in this world to be a bright light, no matter how small. I'm gonna lay on the grass again so that I don't have to hold my phone. No matter how small you think you are, I encourage you to choose that bright light. Choose to be that. Choose to be that. Choose to be that. Choose to be that. How much fun are you really having running after your own appetites? How much satisfaction are you really getting? When you could be a bright light, when you could be like a beacon. Because you practiced at it. Oh, look, there's a little slug right here. Look, maybe I'm laying on another one. I don't know if you can see it. It's like there's a little slug on the ground, you guys. That slug is going to make a difference to this vegetation, you know? Deliver us from evil. Deliver us. When I looked in the Aramaic before of that, see, I'm always wanting to teach knowledge too, right? So that you're equipped, so that you know these things. But knowing them won't change you. You got to choose to practice these. You got to choose to practice them. I think the word evil was it had something to do with deliver us from this false belief that this is all there is, that the material world is all there is. All right, so I got this example for us. Thanks for sharing that moment with me. Like, sorry, I didn't know that was going to happen. If that made you uncomfortable, I didn't mean to, but I don't edit these things because I still have to work to pay for my life because I don't know how to make this, be my living yet. And I don't know if I have to know. I'm just going to keep showing up and giving until I can't. And I just got to keep trusting that it'll happen, right? Okay, so today is this. Oh, look. Deliver us from evil. Look, I didn't even know that was in my journal. I hope I didn't have other personal stuff. I always say that. I don't think I did on that. Okay, so this is the example I got for us, okay? It's so cool. And I wish I would have reviewed for a second, but just bear with me. Be really present. Whenever there's a pause like this, be really present. How do you think I show up to give you these videos? I have over 800 videos over and over again with all this madness going on around me in my life. I learn every day. I meditate for an hour, I'll just say. And it doesn't have to be an hour. Start for 5 minutes. But if I didn't, just quiet everything for an hour, that's a proportion. That's math, okay? I don't do that well in math classes. Anyway, it doesn't matter about me. But that's math, you guys. When you give a percentage of your day to being quiet and you're committed to that. And I got pulled into it. Like, I didn't know what was happening when I committed to do that and how it would transform my life and how it would make it so that I can be quiet enough to show up for you guys, to bring myself back in, to give, to see that you're in an abundant place. You're not in lack. The world will keep telling you you're in lack. That's deliver us from evil, from this stupid idea. Stupid is taking away your own power. Stoop in your id, right? Okay, so where's my... I think maybe I'll just go with it. Let me see where the carrot... I saw a vision of a carrot, but now I can't remember what the carrot was about. But I think I'll remember. Wow. Okay, I'll just do it. I'll just go with it, okay? So it could have been yesterday or the day before I saw this, but it wasn't my day to make the videos, all right? So look. Make sure to take some time to like and comment and stuff. And all right, so I had this in my car. I was holding some papers together yesterday So maybe this came to me yesterday. Maybe this was in the corner of my mind. That's why I thought of a carrot. Because I'm like, why is a carrot coming into mind? Maybe like 24 karat gold, you know, because we're golden. All of us are golden because we're souls. We're souls in this body. You're so much more than whatever is going on. Whatever horrible things or good things you get in your life right now or you have to face. I was saying to my friends, I was like, you know, you can pray to God to get you out of situations, you know, but what would happen if divine love, I call God divine love, would have got that doctor out of all those situations? I'm like, sometimes God lets you go through training, and so you get beat up by this world so that you learn how to be frickin' Rocky Balboa, you know, you know how to be, now that's a movie, but like a world-class fighter, you know, so that you don't sell out when people ask you to sell out for little things. Now that's what the other thing I want to complete that thought is, like, when you look over at other people and go, oh, look at how bad their life is, right? And it's like, no, you check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? That's a lyric from a song. Because you are probably following those same patterns. Someone I love dearly was bringing up these ways that I was hurting this person, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea I was following that pattern. But actually this is deliver us from evil, so this is in the same category. It came from a pattern of learning where I had to please all the time. And because I kept thinking I had to please this person, whenever I had to say no to this person, it just turned really ugly because I was saying no in this distorted way, you know, which looked like a guilt trip. But I was like, no, I'm just saying no, and I'm giving you 100 reasons why I have to say no because I feel so bad to say no to you, because as a child I wasn't allowed to say no. Do you know what I mean? And it's not a guilt trip, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad about all these 100 reasons. I'm just trying to justify why I'm alive here. Do you know what I mean? It's like, for so long when you're little and you feel like, you know, that because they teach you by their actions that you're a mistake and you're not meant to be here, you know. And I don't want you to feel sorry for me, because from now on I'm a swan. Watch my video. From now on I'm a swan. I am a swan. From now on I am not the ugly duckling. We just get taught that we are the ugly duckling when really you are a soul. I'm a soul with a name. That's Swan. That's Swan, y'all. Drop the mic. I'm like, drop the mic. That's all you need to know out of all of this, right? And I even got that in before all the other social media cuts off, you know, at 15. But if you're on my other social media, come over to my YouTube channel so we can all be in one place together. Maybe I'll get to just make my videos there, you know, and then I'm not like uploading in all these different, it takes like, I won't say how long it takes. I'm not doing a guilt trip. I'm just saying. And so you see how, like, okay, so let's go back to the carrot, because this teaches it, okay? So watch, all right? So let's say all we need, we're the whole give us this day our daily bread, our super substantial, the spiritual sustenance we need to feed our souls, the physical sustenance we need to feed our bodies. Give us that. We ask divine love to give us that. Jesus said, this is how you ought to pray every day. You ask divine love for that. Go, teach me how to be present in the midst of this chaos, in the midst of this craziness, in the midst of my boxing matches all day long, over and over again. Like, how long are these gonna last? How much training? Why are you training me so much, God? You know, it's like, welcome it. You're not a victim anymore. You're not the ugly duckling. You were always the swan. This is Swan Soldiers Unite, you know? Is like, and if you're here on my channel, I know you're being equipped too. You're being called to something higher. Now, no one can make you take that path, but okay. So let's say it's just like a carrot. Let's say every day, all we need is one carrot, you know, and you keep thinking, I don't have these carrots. You keep thinking in egotism, which is lack mentality. And so I got to go take all these from other people and fill up my belly, you know, with more highs, you know, watching TV or you know, hooking up with people or whatever it is, this pattern of pleasing people that I had. It's the same pattern as someone that's going and getting high all the time. It's the same pattern. It's giving in to please someone in the moment so that they don't like you. You're manipulating the situation without knowing that you are, you know. And people that are on drugs, you think they woke up when they were like 4 and they're like, I can't wait to be addicted to alcohol or smoking or drugs or whatever they're addicted to, you know, or, you know, the other stuff, online stuff. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever people get addicted to. You know, I won't say all of it because I don't know how they flag these. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I remember Rufus Wainwright sings it, cigarettes and chocolate milk. These are just a couple of my cravings, you know. And he's like, wink, wink. They mean something else, right? So understand, take a deep breath whenever any of this stuff come back to your center, right? I have this amazing saying, but I'm not going to say it right now because I might write a book about it. So I don't want to give away everything first, right? But it's such a great saying. It's like the Swan. Like what comes to me that goes to you guys is like gold. But I don't have to convince you of that. Okay, so let's go back for a second. So let's say every day we just need 1 carrot, right? But we have access to the carrot maker, the one that makes all carrot. Oh, see, I was waving at my friend over there who's on the motorcycle. He's heading off. We have access to, you know, my kid was playing this song yesterday. Going on up to the spirit in the sky. It's where I'm gonna go when I die. It's from a certain movie, I won't say. But, and so, if you have access to the creator, the loving mother, father, creator, the I am, that created all carrots, that could give you 1,000,000 carrots like that, you know, that teaches you how to grow carrots, teaches you how to have carrots flowing out of you in your life, you know. Now we can think that I only need physical carrots, but that's a mistaken understanding. And so we can run and run and run. And they asked Rockefeller, you know, he had all this money, billions of dollars, let's say. And they asked, you know, how much is enough money? And he just said just a little bit more, right? And so this is what happens when you keep trying to feed your own belly and you feed your appetites. You know, you think, well, those things are giving me relief from the pain that I'm experiencing, but then they make you their slave, you know, and you're a slave to that, and you don't have peace, and you're not an agent for good anymore. You've been taken over by the dark side. It's kind of like you can watch Star Wars. Oh, look at that bird. There's a bird in this birdhouse right here. I hope you've watched my video about the bird, the freedom. I'll have to link it if I remember to. If I didn't link it here, right here, you know, then someone put it in the comments. Hey, link your bird video. It's just a 1-minute video. I would stand up and get closer to the birdhouse, but I don't want to scare the bird away from. Just be present. Be present. I'm not. It looks like I'm just being distracted, but look, there's a little slug on the ground that we never knew about until we lay down on the ground. We're humble enough to be on the ground. There's a bird enjoying a little birdhouse, you know. There's this beauty of life. There's beauty of life. You are this life. You are this life. I heard someone the other day on a video, she's like, rock your avatar. And I was like, yeah, that's right. Because you are God consciousness in a body. I have that right here on my phone. Look. My friend that's passed away, he gave me this quote, but then someone else gave it to me on this card. Gunter. God rest his soul, right? He died suddenly of a heart attack. Anyway, it's from Teresa of Avila, right? And it says, Christ has no body now, and I welcome all religions. So don't be offended if I bring up Christ or God or anything. I'm inviting you not to be. You're so much bigger than all these names. People get so What if someone knew Christ his whole life but never knew his name, and followed him and had the Holy Spirit living in their life but never knew his name, There's that quote by Shakespeare, like a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet, all right? But Saint Teresa of Avila says, Christ has no body now but yours, no hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes through which he looks with compassion on this world. Yours are the feet with which he walks to do good. Yours are the hands through which he blesses all the world. It says attributed to Saint Teresa of Avila. I'm like, well, if it's not her, it's a pretty good saying, And back when Gandhi was saying earlier, he was saying, be the change you wish to see in this world. Jesus said it that way. I have this picture of this guy. It got all scratched up from my wallet, but a contemplative picture of Jesus. Here, it's in German in the back. I can't read it because I don't know German that well. Let me see if it gets clear. Anyway, I can take a picture of it now and translate it. When he gave it to me, I couldn't, but when Jesus says, take the log out of your own eye first, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye, out of your sister's eye. All of us are brothers and sisters. When you start being humble, it's because I had a relationship with this person that I love so dearly, that this person loves me, could bring up the stuff that I was doing that was destructive and toxic, that I wasn't realizing, that I never want to do again, but probably will fall into that because I wasn't recognizing it. And we have code words now where you can say this code word, like we say orange clippy, to like wake us up, start, like, choose to be present, learn to be present. But because I have a loving relationship, I could cry, and I could be, not cry as a manipulation, but cry like, I'm so sorry, I never want to hurt you, and I want to see the imbalance. And then when you start seeing the log that's in your own eye, you're like, oh, I kept seeing this in so many people out there that let's say they're pleasing their appetites. Let's say every time they want to go smoke a cigarette, they just go and get one, right? And it calms them down. Well, guess what? Every time someone rejects me and I hadn't worked on it, let's say I hadn't done the inner work, I would feel really insecure. It would bring me back to that really fearful place in childhood, like I'm going to be rejected and like left on the street or whatever and abandoned emotionally, by the people who take care of you, and you don't know if you're going to die physically from that. If they abandon you emotionally, why wouldn't they stop feeding you, right? So you don't know. You feel like you're going to die. So you do whatever you can to be a pleaser, a people pleaser, and just please the person because you think that's what love is, and that's not what love is, It actually causes destruction and distortion, and then you're a slave to being a people pleaser, just like someone's a slave to their cigarettes. It's the same thing. You have chemical addictions in your mind where they release certain chemicals when you go. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this. I went to a week-long class of his. When you go back to those familiar places of pleasing someone, you get this dopamine or oxytocin release in your head, whatever it is, a chemical that's a pleasure chemical. And it sucks because you can be addicted to those dopamine highs. And so when you stop doing that, you feel like you're going through withdrawals. You feel like, no, I can't ever give this up. And it's just like, you can, and you ought to, because you can be a light in this world, We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams, wanderers by lone seed breakers. We are the movers and the shakers of this world, it seems. I read that poem with a bunch of roses falling down. It's called Ode by Arthur O'Shaughnessy. I recommend you go listen to that. Listen to the Hound of Heaven. Watch my skating videos if they soothe you. Watch my singing ones if they soothe you. You have a chance to be a light in this world. Be that. I wish you love.